You know, the thing I have observed is that as women, sometimes we don't even know that we're in survival mode. We don't know that we're burnt out.
I
So it's just
know.
something that begins to happen to you where your mind is clogged up. You struggle to remember things. You're in
Mm.
survival mode. It's not the place where you want to be because you're out of control. You're not
Mm-hmm.
controlling things when you should be controlling things. You're just trying to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't care. It doesn't have to, you just want to, yes, I just need to be alive. So you're struggling to be alive. You're trying to do so many things at the same time. You're trying to be somebody that you should not even be. Looking at what we see in our world today, we see the effects. A mother that is absent, a mother that sometimes collapses because she's doing so
Mm.
many things. And the thing is, if you look at all the things that she's doing, they're actually very important to her.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that
Mm.
she needs to get done. But because she's in survival mode, she's burnt out, she's tired, she's experiencing fatigue every time.
Beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, you're welcome. My name is Margaret Ajala Love, and on this channel, we talk about faith, we talk about life, we talk about purpose, we talk about marriage. Today, we're diving into something that is very important, something that is very timely, and it's titled From Survivor to Fulfillment, Thriving as a Modern Woman. So, because if we are being honest, right, a lot of women are doing so much today. We are working, we are building, we are nurturing, we are giving, to our family and our friends. We are showing up for everyone. And yet many of us, we still feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and unfulfilled. I remember that there was something my husband told me, and I think that was what changed the perspective for me as a woman. I was like, Margaret, I know that you are somebody who likes to give yourself out a lot. You like to do so much, for God, for people around you, even for me as your husband. He said, but remember that there's no marriage in heaven. You have a destiny to fulfill. And I want you to fulfill that destiny. Yes, I'm not saying don't take care of your family, don't give yourself to, don't, be friends with people, don't give yourself all out to people, but be very intentional about fulfilling your own purpose as well. Because when we get to heaven, there's no marriage in heaven. You are going to stand and,
Individually.
individually, you're going to, you're going to like give account of what you actually did with your life, right? So I feel like for me, it changed everything. I'm like, okay, Margaret, you also have a life. You also have a purpose, even though you are married, right? Don't lose that purpose, right? So it's like, as women, we have mastered how to survive, but we haven't fully, stepped into what it means to truly live fully, joyfully, and purposefully. And that's why we're having this conversation. Like I said, it's a very important and very timely conversation. We want to talk about how to move from just going through the motions. Sometimes you're just in survival mode, you're just doing everything, just to survive, but to actually experiencing fulfillment in every area of our lives, because God's will is for us to find fulfillment in every area of our lives, even as married women, right? And so, how do you carry multiple responsibilities without losing yourself? How do you find joy in the middle of pressure? And how do you avoid burnout while still pursuing purpose? These are the questions we are going to be answering today. And I truly believe that this conversation is going to bless you tremendously. And I'm really excited about this one because I'm not having this conversation alone. Today, I have with me in the studio an amazing sister, an incredible woman. She truly embodies what it means to wear multiple hats and still show up with strength, with grace and purpose. She's a mother, she's a business owner. She also works 9 to 5. She has such a powerful insight on, what it means to navigate life as a modern woman without losing yourself in the process. So through her journey, she has learned, how to move beyond just surviving into a place of intentional living, balance, and fulfillment. And I know that, today you're going to be blessed by things we're going to share. All right. Thank you so much, Esther. On this channel, if you're listening to me right now, please welcome with me, Esther. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's such an honor to have you here join us today
It's
on
my
my
pleasure.
channel.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Without further ado, we're going to start with the questions, right? So what does survivor mode look like for many women today, especially those balancing multiple roles?
I think survivor mode is majorly, if I were to give a brief description, it would be just moving without intention. You're just following the wind. You're just like, I just need to get this done. So it's not moving with intention. When you're moving outside of intention, outside of purpose, you are just in survival mode. You know that you have so many things to do. So your mind is always fixated on. Yeah, so you're just majorly being controlled by other things rather than
Mm.
controlling things. Now you're no longer in
Mm.
control. You've lost control. You're allowing other things tell you what to do, where to put your energy. And
Mm.
this is very common in our world today. And we begin to see the effect. Sometimes in motherhood, you see a woman is burnt out. She starts to snap at any little inconvenience.
Mm.
The thing I have observed is that as women, sometimes we don't even know that we're in survival mode. We don't know that we're burnt out.
I
So it's just
know.
something that begins to happen to you where your mind is clogged up. You struggle to remember things. You're in
Mm.
survival mode. You're trying to just get through it. You're like, sometimes you're shallow, your breath becomes shallow.
Mm.
You tend to forget a lot of things, and it's not the place where you want to be, because like I said, you're out of control. You're not
Mm-hmm.
controlling things when you should be controlling things. You're just trying to, as we will say in normal language, get through the day. You're just trying to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't care. It doesn't have to, you just want to, yes, I just need to be alive. So you're struggling to be alive. You're trying to do so many things at the same time. You're trying to be somebody that you should not even be. So you have moved
Mm.
out of maybe your place, for lack of a better word. You have moved into something else. So it's majorly following the dictates of other people as against what you truly want or what you feel like God has told you to do. You're
Mm.
just like allowing the things around you. So, and the funny thing is, some things will always be in our control, some things will never be in our control.
Of
But
course.
at that point, you're allowing even things that are not within your control tell you where to go, where to move,
Mm.
what to do, when to sleep, things like that.
Mm.
So I think that looking at what we see in our world today, we see the effects. A mother that is absent, a mother that sometimes collapses because she's doing so
Mm.
many things. And the thing is, if you look at all the things that she's doing, they're actually very important to her.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that
Mm.
she needs to get done. But because she's in survival mode, she's burnt out, she's tired, she's experiencing fatigue every time. Sometimes it comes like even looking shabby. You don't have time for
Mm.
self-care. You're not taking care of yourself. Even to eat sometimes. Some people struggle to eat. Some people say, oh, I keep forgetting things. People say, oh, I don't know, these days I'm just tired. I'm
Mm.
just tired. So for me, that's what like survivor
Very
mode
well.
means. It
Mm.
means moving out of control, moving away from control to out of control.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for saying that. So it means you're not moving with intentionality, and it just reminds me of our mothers, right? In their time, they do so much that
Mm-hmm.
they just at some point they start to live for their kids. And I'm not saying it's wrong to
And
live
we see
for
it in them.
kids. Yeah, we see it in them, right? And I feel like I thank God for the generation of women that we have right now. We are trying to create that balance because it's very important. As a woman, you cannot eventually give what you don't have,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
eventually survival mode leads to you being burned out. Thank you so much, Esther, for that. I really like that. So the second question is: was there ever a time in your life where you felt like you were just surviving? What did you do? What did that season look like for you? I definitely know that there's been seasons where I've
There's been a
definitely
lot.
felt like it. Yeah, so you want to share with us?
I think the one that comes to mind, first thought, is when I newly became a mom. I
I
was
know.
navigating a new terrain and I was not used to it, and I was healing and I had a baby to take care of. So there definitely was pressure of me taking care of somebody else. And there was also the other side of not knowing what to do. This is a new terrain. I didn't understand what it meant to take care of a baby. I was worried for my baby. At that point, I couldn't even sleep. A lot of things were out of control because I was burning inside, because I actually had a cesarean section. So, healing from cesarean section was terrible. And I still had a baby that needed my attention, that needed me to take care of him. And to make matters worse, we had to be admitted into the hospital like the second day after we came home. So I was trying to take care of myself. I was trying to watch over my baby at the hospital. I was worried for him. So that season of my life was terrible. And another thing that I've learned about survival mode is it's a depressing season. That's when women will say, oh, you feel depressed. You don't know that the reason why you are depressed is because you're majorly surviving. At the point of survival, there is no joy. Your mind is clogged. There's a lot of things in your brain. Like you can't in fact, if when things are happening around you, you struggle to be happy. And for me, that was my experience at that point. I was overwhelmed. We didn't have help. Then I had my son, I and my husband were new to this. We're navigating so many things. Then we had to be at the clinic, being at the clinic, in the hospital. We had to stay there. Not being able to wash yourself at the time you want to wash yourself. It wasn't so comfortable. So dealing with all of that and still having to take care of a baby, dealing with lactation, all of those things I came with mother, it was a terrible time for me. It was, I think at the point as the journey continued, I was tending towards depression. But I didn't know it at that point because I had not been used to those kind of things before. But in my mind, I just knew that I needed help. I just knew that my mind was overwhelmed. I just knew that, no, I was not happy. So I was majorly just living through each day. The goal was, let's just survive each day.
Dizzy, wow.
So that season was really a tough one for me. And at that point, so many things that I needed to do, I just left them. I didn't care about any other thing. How I used to be so finicky about a clean house and all those things.
That's it.
But one of the things that had helped I and my husband was that we just decided that, let's just buy food. So we ordered in. So that saved us some stress, you get. But at the time when we started cooking again and all of that, it was a lot. So for that season, I was just moving as things were coming. I didn't care about anything. In fact, at that point, a lot of things that I used to do, I was going to write the professional exam at the point when I was pregnant, almost at the point of delivery. So my plan was, once I put it there, I'm going to get back to it.
That was crap. Exactly. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Nothing like that. I left it because my mind could not comprehend beyond what was in front of me. I was overwhelmed. I was tired. And no matter how I express myself to others, nobody can really help me because you will not come and stay in my house for 6 months.
I know, right?
Right? So, there was sleepless nights. And part of what survival mode did to me was I couldn't sleep. I got so overwhelmed in my mind that sleep left me.
And that makes
Usually, I had that problem with sleep on a normal day. So imagine being in survival mode, being overwhelmed. That was one of the first things that flew out of the window. But one of the things that I appreciated in that season was something that someone said to me. That was kind of the turning point for me that let me realize that, it's because I'm trying to do everything by myself. I've forgotten that I have a present help. Like I've left where I'm supposed to be. That's why I talked about at that point, you are not moving with intention, you're not moving in purpose. You're just trying to survive. At that point, somebody said to me, see, I'm trying to remember how she said it exactly, but what she was saying is that God gives grace. That she reminded me of that Bible verse that said, if the Lord does not build a house, they build in vain that built it. It is the Lord that watches over them. The Lord is the one who takes care of the children, not you. So I realized that I was trying to be everything. I was trying to make sure that is the baby breathing? Fine, you wouldn't blame me because it was my first time experience as well. But also we need to have that reminder that it is not of him that willeth, neither of him that runneth. It is not by your watch. Is it by not sleeping that will make the baby to be alive and nothing will happen to the baby? So at the point, that was some of the things. Those were some of the things that, some of the words that started bringing me back to who I needed to be. And at a point during that period, I thought my husband I was going to go to Nigeria. I was tired. So that's one of the things that happens when you're in survival mode. You can make decisions that normally you would not even make. Decisions that maybe probably don't make sense.
Yeah.
Because you just want out. You just want an escape. But you're not sitting still to say, okay, this escape, is it going to be temporal? Is that the only option? Is this what God will have me do? What are the downsides to it? Is there an alternative or something? That's what survival mode looks like. Every plan that you have out the window. Whereas some of those plans are plans that you probably made in the place of prayer, are plans that God has probably laid in your heart, are plans that are really what you want. But because you're now in survival mode, all of those things have gone. So for me, that was one season in my life. There are so many seasons I can point to, but that one, yeah, I think when I begin to rank, that one takes stop, but it comes stop.
I know.
It was a lot.
Thank you so much, Esther, for sharing. I mean, of course, there's been a lot of times where I've, also been in this kind of mode, survival mode, where I'm just moving by the motions, right? I'm just trying, just one day at a time and all. And like you rightly said, you have to understand that some things are beyond your control. And once they are beyond your control like that, just let it go, right? Let the Spirit of God help you. God gives grace. And much more than giving grace, He actually gives wisdom. He gives wisdom. So He gives you wisdom on how to prioritize and manage your time,
how to manage,
right? Yeah,
how to manage. Then you begin to even see the help that He has made available for you. When you are in survival mode, one of the things that you tend not to do is ask for help. You wear so much in your mind that you forget that, I can ask for help.
You can ask for help.
So a lot of women that struggle to ask for help are surviving, as against striving. It is not a crime to ask for help.
It's not. And I think this definitely takes me to the next question for you. So you are a mom, you are a business owner, you work 9 to 5. How do you find joy in all of these roles without feeling overwhelmed?
I wouldn't say I don't feel overwhelmed. There are seasons where when I feel overwhelmed, but one of the things that I think that I enjoy so much that God has blessed me with is the gift of a good husband, supportive husband. So that helps with not feeling overwhelmed as I should be. Considering
big shout out to your husband.
Yeah, big shout out to him. Considering the lot of things that I do, like when people say, how are you able to do all of this? I'm like, I'm able to do a lot of all these things sometimes because I have a supportive husband. Because right now, see, we're recording. My husband is taking care of my son. Sometimes when I record content as well, even as a realtor, I need to go out to go film on something. He's at the back end. He's not a camera person. I'm the front facing person. So I think us being able to work in sync, number one, is one of the things that has helped me not to feel overwhelmed. And in terms of finding joy in all of these things, I think that naturally the kind of person that I am multidimensional and I hate facing one street. So I think that naturally one of the things that make me happy is being able to express myself in different dimensions. I recognize the gift of God upon my life. I recognize that God has empowered me with so much energy, and I recognize that not so many people have so much energy as I do. In fact, there was a season of my life when I wasn't doing so much. I realized that season was almost depressing for me. So naturally, I find joy
when you do a lot of things together.
Yeah, in doing so many things. I like to, especially when things pop in my head. So I'm somebody that is energetic. My mind is up there, but one of the things that helped me not feel overwhelmed is having that supportive partner. So I will say that God knew the kind of husband I needed, and He provided me my husband because he has been someone that allows me to shine, allows me to go out and do what I need to do. Once I tell him ahead that, babe, I need you to cover for me at this time, he does what he's supposed to do. Like my husband cooks, he cleans, he does a lot of things. There's nothing I want to do in the house that my husband does not do. So they don't have to wait for me to get things done. So that gives me confidence to go do the things that I want to do. And also for me, I realize that not being who I want to be or who I am meant to be puts me in survival mode. And that is a depressing thing for me. No. So for me, one of the things I'm passionate about is expressing as much as God has put inside of me. Like I remember there was something I heard some years back that kind of always changing things for me. Is somebody saying that they wanted to die empty, and then I thought about it. If I when the person said it first, I laughed. I'm like, "What do you mean you want to die empty?" It was like for me was like I didn't understand what was behind it. Like you want to die empty, like you want to die a fool or what? I didn't understand it. But when she explained it further, and I realized that truly, a lot of times we have so many things inside of us, but we keep waiting for perfection. We keep thinking that, I can't do this, I can't do that. And so we're not even happy in that state. Then you see others doing the things that have come inside your mind that you wanted to do, but you allowed analysis paralysis to keep you there. You see other people doing it, and then you are not happy, you are jealous. You are saying, it's someone So like a lot of us, I feel like there's so much inside of us, but we have not allowed all of those things to come out. So for me, I've realized that the more that I do, the more that I get to do. So naturally, I find joy in doing. I find joy in being. And one of the things I've come to realize as well is that joy is not happenstance. Like I was listening to, I've forgotten, I think Pastor Baturi recently, and she helped me differentiate between happiness and joy.
Of
You
course.
know, happiness is based on maybe things that are happening around you. You
Around
have
you.
money, you don't have
You don't
money.
have money.
But joy is something that is a gift of the
The fruit
spirit,
of the
something that you
spirit.
will
Yeah.
always have. But the thing
Mm.
that I found is that the enemy does not want us to realize that we have joy. So the
Mm.
enemy will now make you think that happiness is joy.
Yeah.
And
Because
once
they
you're
are
not
two
able to
different things.
separate the two, you will now feel like your life is messed up. You feel
Yeah.
like you don't have it all. You feel like, whereas the Bible says what? The joy of the Lord is our strength. The
It's
Bible
our
says that
strength.
what? With joy we draw from the well of salvation. So if you
Mm.
don't allow that, so for me, like I experienced some things last year that, but one of the things I'm beginning to learn to do, like I said, is differentiate between joy and happiness, and insisting on my joy,
Oh, your joy.
regardless of the things that I'm doing. And one thing I've also learned is that seasons change.
Of course.
This season might feel like it's not the best, like it's overwhelming, but don't worry, it's gonna change very soon.
Yeah.
And then the struggle of that new season will make you realize that the struggles you had before, they were playground.
Yeah.
So if you have not learned how to derive joy in each season, you will live life each day depressed, because you will think you're not doing well. You will think that you don't have it all. You will think that, oh, because this is absent now. Hold on. Dara, go and meet Dada. Go inside now. Go and meet Dada. Go and meet Dada. Dada will come back. Go and meet Dada. Now. So for me, that's how I find joy. Like I'm able to find joy because I'm in my elements. So if you are not in the place that you are supposed to be, or what God wants you to do, sometimes you might not find joy. You will just feel like you are trying to fit or something. But for me, this is the life I've always known. Even from my teenage days or something, I've always been somebody that is out there doing things. So this is part of the things that make me happy. But one of the things I realize is that my joy is in God, regardless. So
your joy. I mean, and I think it's very key, because when you lose that joy, you lose a lot of things as a woman. When you lose that joy.
Hold on. No be small thing, no, Dara. Where did you put your water bottle? See your water bottle. Do you can carry it? Carry your water bottle. Yeah, go inside the room. There's no water in it. Let me put water for you. No be small thing, Dara. Thank God for you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, though. We thank God.
Oh yeah, come and take. Go inside the room. Don't come outside. Yeah. Mom is recording, yeah? Can't stay with Dada. Okay, Mama. Sorry.
Yeah. So for me, right, I find joy in knowing that I'm in God's will for my life. And I find joy in knowing that the stage that I'm in right now, a lot of people desire to be there, but just for one reason or the other, it has not happened to them. So rather than complaining, I just switched to joy. And like you rightly said, joy and happiness are two different things. Joy is a fruit of the Spirit. By the help of the Spirit of God, you can well up joy. I listen to worship song, and then joy, comes up in my spirit, and then that feeling of being overwhelmed just it just goes, like I just don't feel it anymore, right? So for me, I find joy just knowing that I'm in God's will for my life. And where I am right now, it's a privilege, and I always look for every reason, to just be joyful, because the truth is, I'm married now. A lot of people are desiring to be married and are not even married. So I don't complain about it.
And there was a time in your life too that you were looking forward to getting
married. Exactly, to getting married, that So, but yeah, I just knowing that I'm in that God's point, God's how do I pronounce? I mean, God's purpose for my life and plan. I feel like that's
and going back to that, something I remembered was that there was a season of my life when I didn't know how to be joyful, and I realized that was because I was always overanalyzing things. I wanted to understand whatever. Like I was too critical of things, and good things will even be happening in front of me, and I'm like, sometimes I'm comparing, like, all those kind of things. But as I'm growing older, I'm learning to understand that being joyful has to be something that you have to cultivate, because let's
course.
not lie, it's something that is already given to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I mean, Allah makes us, Allah wants us to not differentiate between happiness and joy.
Mhm.
And so the enemy wants us to base our joy on things that are out of our control.
Mhm.
And so once those things are not happening, you will say you are not joyful.
Yeah.
Whereas, just like we have established, and the Bible has told us, it's something that is already given. But what they call it, fruit of the spirit,
The fruit
something
of the
that is
spirit.
already given. But
Mhm.
if you don't tap into it, it's just like having a check that you are not cashing out.
Yeah, thank you so much. So another question is, burnout is something so many women are silently dealing with. How can you tell when you're approaching burnout?
I think that for me, a lot of times I don't even realize that I'm approaching burnout, because when I'm burning out, the last part of me to experience or recognize it is my body. Like, I could be doing so many things and my body will just be there. But nowadays, one of the things that makes me quickly know that I'm approaching burnout is headaches. Once I start having frequent headaches that are unexplained, like I've drank water, I am not hungry, and I'm just having incessant headaches, I know that, okay, girl, you need to sleep.
You need to rest. You need to take it
Girl,
easy.
you need
You need to slow down.
to slow down. You need to unplug.
You need to slow down.
So I think that for some people it might be fatigue. You just lose interest in things. You're just like, oh, I don't feel like doing this today. Like when you begin to catch yourself saying you don't feel like doing this today, you don't like, especially if those are things that you usually would want to do, and you realize you don't want to do them, girl,
take it easy.
you're getting there. When you find yourself, you just constantly snapping at things. I catch myself doing that sometimes, and then I'm like, eh, what happened? What have said happened? It's always a situation like, kill order, kill yourself. Girl, you need to slow down. So sometimes for me, that's like what burnout looks like. Headache, tiredness, losing interest in things. I don't know. This thing keeps getting into my head. Sorry. Like losing interest. I hardly lose interest in things. So, but another thing that helps me know that I'm approaching burnout is my thoughts. My thoughts become unclear. Like I just have lots of thoughts on my mind, and I can't even clearly make a decision. I'm just like, I'm seeing all of the situations, but I'm not seeing the way out. You know, so it's lack of clarity. That point is lack of clarity. You don't even know that, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. Yeah. So for me, those are some quick things that let me know that I'm approaching burnout.
Yeah, for me as well, I think it's almost the same thing, because I'm also somebody that's very high energy. And I know my husband is always saying, why don't you rest? Why don't you rest?
I think our husbands are the same.
Yeah, somebody is always saying like, love, why are you always on the move? Like, can you not rest? I'm like that too. Like, I'm always on the go. If you know me, I'm always on the go. But once I start to also like, and I'm not somebody who procrastinates. But once I start to procrastinate, I start to pile up things that I need to do. I'm just know I'm being, you know, I'm burnt out, and then I start to also feel weak in my body. My body is one of the signs that I gives me the sign that you have to rest. I start to feel, you know, very tired or get headaches. The same thing like as you. I know, okay, it's time. And initially, I didn't even used to listen to my body.
It. Yes.
I didn't even used to listen to my body initially.
That's the same thing that happened to me. So, like I said, I just started recognizing the signs of burnout. Before, even when I was having a headache, I'll be seeing it as a sign of weakness. Like, what do you mean I'm supposed to rest? Like, no, I will be full focus on one of the things. And no, I need to, not knowing that your body is telling me, oh, it I think one of the people that helped me to recognize the signs of burnout, okay, I would actually say people like my husband and my mom were the people that helped me to realize. But on my own personally, I like, what do you mean? What?
Somebody's burnout. And I think all of these things, they are very directly related to the way we were brought up. Because I've never seen my mom too. I feel like mothers in the past, right? They do so much that you don't even see them throwing in the towel, like just saying they're not doing anymore. Yeah. And then for you growing up and seeing things like that, you just feel like, oh, I have to also, you know, put in my best, I have to also, you know, do. But as you know, wisdom is profitable to direct. You have to know when to rest. You have to know when to take a time out. If you take a time out, the world is not going to come to an end. It's not going to collapse. And I tell this to myself a lot of times, Margaret, if something happens to you now and then you can't do this anymore, somebody else is going to replace you. Even if it's the work of God, the work of God will continue. If it's your workplace, your 9 to 5, it's going to continue. So just take a chill pill, rest. Your body is telling you to rest. Take that time and rest. Wow.
That's what my husband tells me as well. Like, if you go to bed now this night, do you know that before tomorrow morning, nothing will happen if you don't do this thing that you're supposed to do? Like, you don't have to kill yourself. Just sleep. Why is it hard for you to sleep? Just go to bed and sleep. You will continue from there tomorrow. You will continue from there tomorrow.
It's the same thing. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's just, I mean, I don't know if it's the same for every woman, but I just feel like we have the ability to multitask. So, you're always thinking of the next
I
thing.
think that for women have ability to multitask, and I think also different kinds of individuals. So it's about also the kind of what do they call this thing? Personality that you have. So it differs by personality, but I think that naturally women also are gifted to more multitasking abilities than men. Because men kind of are arranged, logical, but a woman a woman's mind is like a web.
Yeah.
So many things at the same time connected, and you're still able to function. Like even for me, sometimes when I'm working during the day, I'm able to like do 2 or 3 things together.
Yeah. Right now, I'm already thinking of dinner. I'm already thinking of tomorrow. And when I ask myself, I'm like, okay, what are we seeing tomorrow? What do you? It's like, why are you thinking of tomorrow? Let's tomorrow take care of yourself.
Tomorrow we take care of
But me, it doesn't work for me that way. I plan.
Yes.
But yeah, it is what it is. So another question is okay, how do you set boundaries without feeling guilty, especially as a woman who is used to giving so much? How do you set boundaries without feeling guilty?
Honestly, for this, I'm learning. I am honestly learning. I think that before I was just so used to, okay, I could now pend it. You get, I could say yes to something, but I could pend it. Depending on how much time and capacity or energy I have at that point, I could pend it. But nowadays, I'm learning that it is okay to push back. And if I'm not able to push back, if I feel like it has to rest on me, one of the things I'm beginning to do is delegate.
Nice.
So before I used to struggle with delegation because I used to feel like it would be quicker for me to just get some things done. But girl, I would say that I am moving into my soft girl era. I don't know if it's something that comes with growing older, but these days I'm beginning to evaluate things. I look at, okay, and I'm becoming more of a calendar person. So I think it comes with growing up as well, like understanding that you don't have to always do it. Fine, it's on your table, but can you get somebody else to do it? So next thing I'm looking for is, okay, who can I assign this to? Even if I have to pay somebody to do it, I don't mind doing it. Unlike before, when I tried to do so many things and try to feel like, oh, I can do it. Yes, you can do it, but can somebody do it faster? Take the stress off you, save you time, even if it means money. Like sometimes I'm not somebody that is so tight-fisted. So if I have to use money to get my convenience nowadays, I'm going to pay for it. So that's one of the things that I have learned to do. That's one of the ways that I create my own boundaries. Like if it's something that I cannot delegate, if it's something that I cannot do at that point, best believe it's a no.
Yeah.
It's a, can we do it later?
Yeah.
It's a, can we come back to this? Or I'm so sorry.
And I think for me,
or I will do it next week.
So I think for me, it was really my manager who helped me. Funny enough, I'm not somebody who likes to also say no. And to be honest, I don't know how to set boundaries for myself. Or I didn't used to know how to do it until recently. So there was this project I was supposed to do. Somebody just reached out to me out of nowhere and they were like, Margaret, we need you to come online, weekend, Saturday, Sunday. We need you to be, round the clock for this migration call over and I was just like, how am I supposed to be round the clock Saturday, Sunday, and you're just telling me on Friday? Like, this is not my manager. I had to reach out to my manager. I was like, Margaret, you have to learn to say no. You can't do this, And then my manager was able to speak to the person, and they were like, okay, Margaret, we'll let you go. But after learning, after going through that experience, I feel like it just, something just shifted in my mind, and I'm just like, Margaret, you have to learn to say no. Else, people are gonna put so much on you.
Things on
you. Just going to dump things on you. And even in my personal life, and even in my church now, I'm learning. If they give me something, and I feel like, I'm like telling to say, oh, I have a lot, on my table right now. I do not have the bandwidth to complete this thing. can you please give it to somebody else? And if, like you said, if I'm unable to, if they're unable to give it to somebody else and it has to be me, I've learned to delegate. There are a lot of things that I'm using my money to do right now. That,
That's
I'm supposed to be
wisdom.
the one to do it.
2026 wisdom.
Yeah, that's wisdom.
Wisdom for women, especially. I feel like women struggle to delegate.
Yeah, we definitely.
If you've worked with a lot of female bosses as well too that are high energy, you realize that a lot of times, like, okay, I'll quickly get it done. You will quickly get it done. You will quickly break down.
You quickly break down.
Oh,
yeah, you quickly break down. Yeah. So wisdom is definitely perfect, right? You have to learn how to set those boundaries. So another question is, how do you stay connected spiritually even with a busy schedule? Because the truth is, I don't know, but for me, when I'm not in sync, like spiritually, everything around me is very visible. Like it's just I just start to be very carnal, and carnality is not until you start to maybe move around to do something bad. Carnality can be very subtle sometimes.
Sometimes it's like you snapping.
Yeah.
Getting angry over nothing.
Yeah.
I've experienced that too. And the funny thing was, I also didn't recognize that was what was happening. It was one day that I realized that my husband said something and I responded to him in a way that was off. And I think the Spirit of God just quickly told me, like, sister, right? What happened? What did he ask? What are you saying? Then I think at that point as well, my mind, I began to have a lot of nonsense thoughts. Then I began to trace things and I realized that, oh, girl, you've not been praying as you used to.
Praying.
So one of the things that I've learned to do is put structures for those things. Because one of the things that used to happen to me before was when I didn't have structure, you will say that you will do it, but you will never get to do it. So for me, I've begun to treat my spiritual activities as appointments. Like the way I have things to do, those are also things to do. So I've begun to treat them like things that are on my calendar. Like I know at this time, this is my prayer time. My husband already understands it. If you're close to me as well, you already understand. If you call Esther at this time, she's probably praying. So until I started to do those things, I realized that trying to say you will be spiritually whatever, there will be goalposts that you keep shifting. They will keep shifting with, because there's no way that there will not be something for you to do. There will always, so you to make that thing something that it is part of what you need to really complete, even if it is 10 minutes. Another thing that I've learned to also do is also even pray while I am cooking, listen to sermon while I'm cooking, while I am driving. A lot of us think sometimes that to stay spiritually connected, you need to have like 5 hours or 2 hours. Fine, if you can, it's good. As men of God, I feel like they're able to do that because that's 24/7 their assignment. It's fine if you're able to do that, but for a woman who has so many things to do, you have to be real with yourself, and God understands. But the thing that I've come to realize is that at every point when I'm doing something, what is the state of my heart? As I'm cooking, I'm playing messages. Because there was a time that I allowed all of those things to not be in there. And the devil was just messing with my mind, filling my mind with rubbish. And then I realized that, what happened? Then I realized that, no, this thing is important. So we shouldn't treat our spiritual life as an afterthought. That's profound. We need to treat it as what it is. Because we are spirits.
The spirit.
We are spirit being, that spirit part. So it's like, when you are feeding other things and you're not feeding your spirit, like the main essence of who you are is starved. Imagine what a physically starved man looks like. Weak. So imagine what your spirit man now looks like when it is weak. You can't see it, but imagine what it is that you can see in the physical. Put that in the spiritual. So if that spirit person, you must understand that if your spirit is not functioning as it should, every other thing that you'll be doing, you are trying to survive.
That's profound.
But like your spirit needs to lead every other place. But if you are now allowing all those other things to control this, like you do all those other things and you now leave the ajeku, as we say in Yoruba, to that spirit being, your spirit man cannot have the energy to help you fight some things that will come. And so it will manifest in you snapping when you should not snap. It will manifest in you not even having joy.
Yeah.
Because your mind is overwhelmed. All these words and things that you should, like, even your faith is weak. Bible says, well, faith comes by hearing the word of God. How much of it have you heard? So you realize that for a season when you have not heard, it's as if your faith is low. Small thing, you will just be afraid. This one, you are like this, you are like this, So those kind of things. So for me, it's very important to put structure to these things. And that's one of the things that have helped me. I've learned to put structure, especially setting time for meditation as well. Putting structures in place, making sure that, in fact, treating like a KPI to measure your day. Like, okay, did I do this today? Fine. There are some days that you will not, let's be real, we are humans. There are some days that maybe you had to go out or something, you will not always, and that's where the place of not beating yourself up, understanding that it is your heart. The fact that today you were not able to pray, that you're not able to read your Bible, does not mean that God does not love you again. It does not mean that you're a bad Christian. Before, I used to beat myself up over that. I would not be feeling like, maybe God has separated from me or something like that. But I realized that it's not like that. It's not like that. God understands, He sees everything. But importantly, at every point of you carrying yourself through the day, what is the state of your heart? That's the place that the enemy tries to actually steal. That we must make sure that we build structures around us. Part of the structures that I also put around me is having godly friends that I can confide in when I'm struggling. Because sometimes I struggle as well. I'm struggling with my mind. I'm struggling with things around me. I'm able to confide. So I feel like another part that makes us struggle a lot is because we're not willing to open up. We bottle up everything inside. Some people don't talk to therapists. You don't talk to your mother. You don't talk to your sister. In the world, only you carry everything on your head. Why?
Why?
Why? Why? Do you want to kill yourself? Why? Why? You are not the author and finisher. There's somebody in that position. Give it to him.
Don't carry everything.
Don't carry more than you can carry. So, like I said, it's very important that our life and structures we put into it, they are treated as major, not an afterthought.
Yeah, that's very profound. And I feel like we also have to understand that man is primarily a spirit being. Yeah, a spirit. And everything, other thing that you must do have to stem from that understanding. And if you don't, organize your life around that, thoughts,
that core
it's just a matter of time. My spiritual father will always say something. He'll be like, see, the devil's realm is the realm of the physical. It's the realm of the senses. If you allow yourself to become too carnal as a Christian, the devil is going to take advantage of you. As a Christian, you want to ensure that you are staying in your own realm of advantage, and that's your spiritual realm. If you delve or you shift
and if you don't feed that spirit, what do you think will happen to the spirit?
Of course.
So when we say that we don't have time for spiritual things or clinical, what's gonna happen? And sometimes you realize that the reason why I say you're not having time is because the enemy is shifting your focus.
Yeah.
It's shifting your focus to the things that you have to do rather than the things that are important. It's shifting your mind, making you and honestly, when you look at all the things that you are doing, you will feel justified that you don't have time. You will actually feel justified. The enemy will make you see yourself as, oh God, you are doing your best. You are trying your best. You have done that.
You don't know that you're not doing the main thing that you should be doing.
Do you know that one of the things I've realized about the enemy is how he makes us have consolation. He will give you consolation. If you're looking for consolation about your spiritual laziness, the enemy will give it to you. You will even have friends that will let you know that, oh, you are trying. It's not God understands. Fine, God understands, but the enemy that is fighting does not understand. God understands, but we must understand that the reason why we build ourselves spiritually sometimes is not just because of it's also for ourselves. The Bible says that we should watch because the enemy is going around looking for whom he may devour. So, as he's going around, if you make yourself available,
that's it. You become a prey. And sadly, that is not God's wish for you. God's wish is for you to always be victorious, right? So, yeah, it's very key for us to maintain that spiritual, that spiritual atmosphere and whatnot. I know a lot of people these days are just going through the emotions spiritually. That connection is not there anymore. That fire is not there. You're just living each day as it comes. There's no way you can really enjoy all that God has for you when you're just living the day as it comes. You're not being spiritual.
It's part of the reasons why
intentional about your spiritual life.
It's part of the reasons why a lot of women also are not joyful. It's part of the reasons why they are not joyful because, like we said in the beginning, you are majorly doing things other things are controlling you. You are just doing things. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. You don't need to do that. They are more, it's just like the situation of Mary and
You don't need to
Martha.
do that.
You don't need to do them. It's just like the situation of Mary and Martha. That one felt like, oh, this is very important. I have to be hospitable. Jesus is here. What do you mean? Oh, Jesus is here. I will not do hospitality career. No, I have to demonstrate this. But you know, one of the things I've also found sometimes that I am actually learning is that just like we have established, we have a spiritual advantage. There are some things that we can control in the spirit.
Of course.
If we stay there. Just like Martha sat at the feet of Jesus. Was it Martha or Mary?
Yeah,
there are some things that
Mary.
you need to do, that if you stay in that place of prayer, you will just realize that the ease that you will have, or even before you get to do them, somebody has already taken care of it for you.
I'm telling you.
It will come like somebody maybe paying some bills that you were worrying your brain about. Or somebody just saying, oh, I have this opportunity. Oh, can you do this? Or, okay, let me help you apply for this one. Or somebody will say, oh, do you need this? I just came across it. Oh, maybe you will need it. Person buys it for you. Whereas you are trying to think that you have to always do everything. So that's like what I said. Like, if we think that we need to always do something, we will quickly break down. And the other thing is, just like we've established, we are spirit beings. So if we learn to control things from the spirit first, we can get the advantage that we're looking for. And honestly, I struggle sometimes. But I try to remind myself, like I said, I think for me, it's part of probably growing up. But if I to tell somebody that is younger than me, like, this is something you need to quickly learn. Don't get to my age before you learn it. Otherwise, you realize that so many things that you were struggling and fighting for, there are things that you could have easily gotten.
That's definitely your next question, by the way. You're in the spirit. So the next question is, what advice would you give to a woman who feels stuck, tired, and unfulfilled right now?
Stuck, tired, unfulfilled. Let me start from unfulfilled. I feel like there was this season of my life that I felt like that. And the reason was because, like I mentioned briefly earlier, I was overanalyzing things. I was trying to be in control of everything. I was trying to understand what was not my business to understand. I was too rigid rather than enjoying the moment. So seasons change. If I'm to tell, like I tell my younger sister, enjoy the season you are in. You are not unfulfilled. The season that you think that things are not happening, enjoy, because a season will come when you'll be so overwhelmed. There'll be so much to do, and you'll be, like, nowadays I look at my life, I'm like, and there was a season of my life I thought I was not doing enough.
Right?
Nowadays sometimes I'm even looking for idle moments. You want to cherish them because there's so much on your plate. So if it looks like, oh, you're not doing so much right now, or your life is boring or something, first, look at it. If it is that, it's not as if you're lazy, you're laid back. That's one thing we should always watch out for. We should always make sure that we are not complacent. Complacency is a bad place to be. It's different from when you're pushing things and things are not really pushing at that point for you to be moving things in here. That's a different thing. If you are complacent, you want to address that. And, if it is for you to pray and fast so that your spirit man can be energized for you to do what you need to do, fine. But if it is that you're trying to do so many things, you are working towards your goal, but you feel like things are not moving, fine, enjoy it. By the time all the prayers that you are praying, by the time the results come in, it will be like, what's that Bible verse? I forgot it. Actually, but there's this Bible.
Which one is that? When the Lord turns the captivity
of Zion, you will be like them that dream. Because the way things will just be moving fast, you will be struggling to catch your breath. Like, what happened? You will look back and you just realize that. So just like we have said, seasons change. That's one thing that is so constant about life. Now, some seasons you feel like the energy is low, things are not moving fast, it's boring. And some seasons will come that you are practically trying to catch up. When the blessings start to overflow. So enjoy it. But keep pushing. That's what I would say. Keep pushing. Don't allow that to push you into complacency. And then you say, oh, I'm not doing it again. Don't allow that. Complacency is not a place to be at all.
Oh, wow. I hear that. So for me, I feel like one of the advice I'm going to give to somebody who feels stuck, tired, and unfulfilled right now is find purpose again. Like, what was that thing that, so for a married woman, you're married already, what was that thing that God had told you from the beginning, that Because like I said, every marriage has its own purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Even though as individuals, we enter into the marriage with our own purpose as individuals, but there's still a purpose for why God brought you guys together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would say find that purpose again. Because I feel like when you find that purpose and you are in it, there's going to be joy for you. And then remember that you're not on this journey alone. You have the helper. The helper is the Spirit of God. It's the Holy Spirit. Ask him for help. I told somebody in the last podcast that I had that the woman and the Holy Spirit, we are the two people who have the same ministry. We have been called to be helpmeets for our husband, right? And the Holy Spirit is also our helper. So we have to walk hand in hand with the Spirit of God to build a godly home. So if you are ever feeling tired, unfulfilled, and you feel stuck, go back to the helper. Don't do it all by yourself. It's not something you can do. Marriage is not. It's not. I feel like it took me a while to also understand this, even though I've always known that the Holy Spirit is there for me. But sometimes, as humans, we just feel like, oh, I can, figure this thing out by myself. But it's not
We struggle
God,
to let go.
It's not God's will for you to figure things out by yourself, and that was why He gave you the helper. So lean into the help of that Spirit. Ask Him for help. That is there for a reason. So I feel like that's what my advice is going to be. All right, as we wrap it up for today, my final question for you is: what is one powerful truth every modern woman needs to hear? What is that one powerful truth?
One powerful truth every
Yeah.
woman needs to hear.
Mhm.
I think for me, it would be that you are so much more. Motherhood, whatever position you are in life, does not define who you are. The season that you are in does not define who you are. You can. You are much more than what you see or what you or what you think is happening in your life. One of the things that I have told myself is that I will not let motherhood limit me. I've seen it happen to a lot of women that they became mothers and everything went to the backbone, to the background. No, I'm not going to let motherhood limit me. So you are much more than being a mother. Fine, for all of us are different, our purposes are different, but you are much more than that. What the world has told you does not define who you are. You are much more than that. One of the things I'm reminding myself is that I am the righteousness of God. What God has said about me is what matters. It doesn't matter. And if I'm going to say another powerful truth, where you have been is not what matters. Where you are going, where you are right now, where you are going is what matters. And honestly, to God, that is what matters to God. God does not care where we have come from, because for God is able to change all of that. Is able to use that for our good. So whatever struggle you think you've had, whatever errors or mistakes that you think you have done, those are gone. You cannot control them anymore. What matters is this point. This point. What are you doing right now, and where are you going? So look at where you are going and let that be enough. And as much as we have said, as you continue to walk with the Holy Spirit, you know that you are getting there. So the point where you see that you are no longer in alignment is the place where we need to be afraid.
Yeah.
You get, it's the place where we need to be afraid. But as far as we're walking on that path, we know that that past will not repeat itself.
Of course. Wow. That's profound. So for me, I would say that one truth is that you, as a modern woman, I want you to remember that you are who God says you are. Your identity is rooted in your relationship with Christ, rather than societal ideology. You are who God says you are, and never lose sight of that. Never lose focus of what God has called you or who God has called you.
In addition to what you say, one of the things that I would say is that there's a way the world will say today. They will say, as a woman you should be this. Tomorrow again they will come. As a woman, you should be that. As a woman again, tomorrow, let us rest now. So that's the way the world will. So that's why we are I agree with what you have said so much. We must have our identity in who God says we are, because that will never change. But if you are trying to find your identity in what the world is saying, you will be moving like this. At the point you will not recognize yourself again. Because every new year, people will say 20 things a woman should be. If you are not this as a woman, you are kinikon. As a woman, if you are not kinikon, you are not this and that one. And all of us are different. The way I see human beings, I see all of us as different, and I see all of us as the same. we are similar yet so different. It's the same reason why you'll be getting to know somebody and you realize how different this person is from you. But in other sense, you also see that, oh, this is how you would usually say things as well. But if you are somebody that has allowed ourselves to be defined by who people say, what people say,
what society says about you. Yeah. Wow. What a time. I mean, this has been a very eye-opening conversation for me too, right? Because whenever I shoot this podcast, to be honest, I also learn a lot.
Yeah, and I honestly, sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like I wish that this was not a podcast. That's something that we could go on gisting for like hours.
I know, right?
Because I'm really enjoying this conversation. These are some of the
Yeah.
conversations I like to have. Because personally for me, it also reminds me of what God is doing in me. It reminds me of what God is able to do for me. It reminds me of some things that I've gone through. It reminds me of what I carry. So I usually enjoy this kind of conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm so thankful for it.
It's been an honor to have you on my channel. Thank you so much for pouring out yourself and just, sharing with us from the depths of, God's wisdom in you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been an honor. We love you so much. All right, guys, we've come to the end of today's podcast, and I know that you've been tremendously blessed. Please kindly drop in the chat comment section. I'd like to hear from you. What are your thoughts about this video? Like, what are you currently, navigating through? Are you currently on survival mode? Are you currently learning how to live a fulfilled life? I want you to please share with me in the comment section, and I'll be reading through that. Thank you so much for listening to us. Love you guys till I come your way again next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Esther. This has been very, very helpful. I really, really, really appreciate it. Hello. Hi there.